All right, so we're going to get started. We actually have a lot to do tonight. Danny has brought along a lot of equipment that you might see here, which includes showing some videos on YouTube, some of what our videos that he's put on our Henry Korngut Family Circle website. He's also got some video from Sachs Lodge. He was at Sachs Lodge last week. He's going to show that as well. So we want to get to that. We have some music, hopefully, as well. There's birthday cake or a cake, right? We have 2 birthdays. 3 birthdays. So we have a little bit to do tonight. And I gather, Joe, you're here because you want to say a little something before we get started. Okay.
Alan. That's where Joe is sitting.
I hope everybody can hear me. I can't hear anybody. As a senior male representative of the Henry Korngut Family Circle, I just felt that I'd like to say a few words. To begin with, we just had the unveiling for Ralph Berger. This was a tremendous loss to our group because Ralph was a wonderful person, a good person, and he lost him. I would like everybody to take a minute of silence in memory of Ralph Berger. Now, I was not at the beginning of the family circle. The first meeting, I was working nights, but Laura, my wife, was there. How the hell she got there, I still don't know. She went by bus, by subway, by train, by bus, another bus, by cab, and she finally got there, but she did it because she is a very determined woman. Over the years, I have watched the advance of the family circle. The one thing which is the most important to me and the most joyous to me is the growth of the children. I have seen the children grow from childhood through college age into adulthood, and they have all turned out so wonderfully and so bright that it's remarkable. I don't have much to say. I don't have too much longer to say it. But I love you all.
We love you, Joe. Okay, there's much more to talk about on that score as well, but I just want everyone to know 10:30 tonight, please make it back to this room. We have cookies, chocolate chip cookies, and cherries for everyone, and milk, and some other things as well. So if everyone could try to make it back to the room at 10:30 tonight. All right, going forward, committee reports, treasurer's report, Debbie Green. Debbie Feldman, do this every year.
I mixed that up too.
Hello, I'm Debbie Feldman. Although I thought I was going to keep my maiden name, and then it dawned on me at my wedding that I had changed my name, which was a little surprising. So I don't do as good a job as my dad used to do, but I'm going to try my best. I actually brought a statement this year because I kept forgetting for like the last, I don't know how long I've been treasurer, but like the last 5 years I never bring the statement and I just give the approximate amount. So I'm actually going to pass this around and I really don't need it back. So if anybody wants to keep this as a memento of this evening, you're absolutely welcome to keep it. We have a balance of $250 even in the account. We were up to 400 and something like 2 years ago, but we used the money to pay for a couple of Hanukkah party things. So we have had a meeting, very serious meeting prior to tonight, and have decided that, as Jeff said, based on current gas prices, we are not going to collect dues this year. So everybody should be very relieved. So round of applause for no money. However, that being said, next year you are on notice. You have a year to save up your dues, because I will be collecting next summer. And we have to discuss, and maybe we'll do that later, the dues structure. The state rate. So anyway, so we have $250, and probably it will be gone by next summer. So that's it. That is the treasurer's report.
Thank you. I guess what you were saying is if the Bush recession is gone by next year, we'll have it. Okay, historian's report.
No football.
Time marches on, and we've had a lot of history. We have a lot of young people, we have a lot of middle-aged people, and all the way up through age. I won't even mention any numbers.
No.
Okay. I want to tell a little story, that an embellishment or a sequel to my father's story that you've all heard several times about his cousin Berger. I think you remember that. He told the story when he was in school. He had a cousin whose last name was Berger, which in English means not burger. So when the teacher took attendance, my father said, Berger, and his cousin behind him said, Berger. So the teacher said, I know you're not Berger, what is your name? And this went back and forth. It was a funny story. Well, as you all know, that my father passed away in January, and his remains were sent up to New Jersey for interment. And I went to the cemetery to gather the remains and supervise the burial of the remains. So I said, I'm here to pick up the ashes. My father was cremated for Ralph Berger. So they went in the back, and they were gone for like 10 or 15 minutes. So I said to myself, I'm sure he's here, you know. So I'm waiting. Finally she comes back, are you sure it isn't Goldberger? So I said, it's a good thing. They said I didn't have to be there, but I think it was a good idea that I got the right person. Anyway, that's the continuation of that. Berger. And we all miss my dad, and he was here for a long time, 88.5 years, which is a long run. And we also miss Audrey, who passed away in the last year or so. And that generation is getting smaller and smaller, but the next generations are getting bigger and bigger. So the family circle continues. Somebody asked me, how many members do we have in the family circle? People that are on our list, they're not always here at the same time. I would say we're close to 100 people that we're in touch with. So that's a tribute to all of us. And I think that's all the history has for today.
Right. I do think it's a little unusual this year in that perhaps we're going to speak of some of these things a little later in the meeting, but you know, losing both Ralph and Audrey this year, the same year, it's a pretty big hit that our family took, and I think you know, it's important that we all talk about it probably now instead of later in the meeting. And with that in mind, I just wanted to mention, you know, Carol is here with her significant other Sam and her children Stephen, Matthew, Kayla, and Megan, and Kristen is in the Peace Corps.
Kristen is in the Peace Corps in Guatemala.
So there was an email that went around, Jeff had sent around, and how's she doing? Actually, Carol, if you could come up, if you don't mind, and a few words about your mom, that would be nice for us.